Hi everyone, it's Maddie Calzon again with video number 3. The domain is number and operations in base 10, and it's cluster number 1, and we will understand the place value system. One concept is to recognize that in a multi-digit number, a digit in one place represents 10 times as much as it represents in the place to its right, and 1/10 of what it represents in the place to its left. So basically it will be more of a conceptual concept for that one. The second concept is to explain patterns in the number of zeros of the product when multiplying by a number by powers of 10, and explain patterns in the placement of the decimal point when a decimal is multiplied or divided by a power of 10. And our final concept will be use place value system to round decimals to any place. So let's get started. Moving on to our first lesson, it's going to be a lot of talking, so gotta bear with me here. We'll look at the right chart over here, which is our place value chart. And all they want you to know or recognize is that they want you to be familiar with the place values, which we can go over: the thousands place, hundreds place, tens place, ones place. We can't forget our handy dandy decimal. Have that in big letters here. And then we have our tenths place, our hundredths place, and our thousandths place. So basically all they want you to recognize is if I started with the ones place, that the value to its right, the ones place is 10 times the value to its right, and which would be the tenths in this case. And they want you to also recognize that the ones are 1/10 the size of the place value to its left. And that's all there really is to it. So for this lesson, we're just going to go over recognizing place value, and that's what our examples will be on the next page. So we have these red arrows pointing to a number, and I want you to pause this video and write down which place value this number is located at. So I'll give you a minute to do that. Hopefully we all got some answers for these. Let's start with the first one on the left, top left. The red arrow is pointing to the 8, so let's see. So we can recognize our decimal point, which is right here, and it's 1, 2, 3 spaces over. So that should be the thousandths place for this one. Sorry for that handwriting. Let's go to the one below it. The 8 is also has the red arrow, but it's not the first 8, second 8, which is right here. So we can see our decimal point is right here, and the 8 is 2 places to the right of the decimal point, so this would be our hundredths place. Hopefully so far so good. Let's go to the top right. The 5 has the red arrow, and it is 3 spaces to the left of our decimal point, so that should be the hundreds place. And now we have our final example where the 3 has the arrow, and it's 1 place over from our decimal point, so that would be the tenths place. Hopefully we all did well on that, and let's move on to the next concept. For this concept, it's going to be all dealing with powers of 10. So we have a little chart of the powers of 10 at the top for visual representation. So there's a little trick with the powers of 10. So if we look at our first example on the left, it says 10 times 10. When you're multiplying tens like this, you can count up the zeros. So when you're multiplying a power of 10 by a power of 10, there's 2 zeros here. So you can keep that 1 and add 2 zeros, and 100 is your answer. It's as simple as that. Now for our second example below, we have a number that's not a power of 10 times a power of 10. So the trick for this is when you're multiplying by a power of 10, you move the decimal point to the right how many zeros there are. So there's 2 zeros. So you can move the decimal point over 1, 2. So it would be 99.88 You move the decimal over 1, 2 times, so your answer would be 988. Now let's look at this top right example. It says 900 divided by 10. Oh no, what do we do for this one? So we have a trick for this as well. So write 900 here, and the decimal point would go here for that. And so when you divide by a power of 10, you count the zeros and move the decimal point over to the left. So there's only one zero, so you move it one to the left. So the answer in this case would be 90. Now we have the same type of problem below. It says 678.77 divided by 100. So there's two zeros, so we move it to the left. 1, 2. So the answer is 6.7877. And that's all there is to it. Hopefully that made some sense. And let's try some examples on the next page. I'll have you pause the video and pull out a sheet of paper and answer these questions, and then we can do them together. Hopefully everyone was able to get some answers for these. Let's go ahead and do them together. So the first one, we have 100 times 100. So when we're multiplying powers of 10 by powers of 10, we can add the zeros and just put them together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So we have 1, and then we have our zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So our answer is 10,000 for that one. Next problem, we have 1,000 divided by 10. So we can move the decimal point like we did in the before. So we have 1,000. The decimal point would go here, divided by 10. That's only one zero. So we go over to the left once. So we have 100 as our answer. Now we go to the top right. We have 4.5 times 10. So we write 4.5. We have 1 0, so we move the decimal over to the right one time because we're multiplying, so our answer is 45. Now for the last example, we have 490.2 divided by 100. So we write 490 divided by 100. There's two zeros, so we move it to the left twice. 1, 2. So this would be our answer. And hopefully everyone got that. And let's move on to the next concept. So for our next concept, we're going to be using all our information we've learned to round. So we have a saying when we round, it's 0 to 4, hit the floor. 5 to 9, climb the vine. In our examples on the bottom, it says round to the nearest 10th. So our 10th position is here. I always like to circle it, especially when I'm rounding. So I round to the correct place. And so when we round, we look to the place to the right. So we look to our 8 here and our 4 here. So for our first question, it says round to the nearest 10th, right here. And we look at the 8 and we go, okay, 0 to 4, hit the floor. 5 to 9, climb the vine. Well, 8's in the range of 5 to 9, so we round up. Climbing the vine, you're moving up. So when we round, the answer would be 1.8, because 1 more than 7 is 8. And so now for our second example, it's 0.44, so we have 4, so we think about it, okay, 0 to 4, hit the floor. 5 to 9, climb the vine. Well, 4 is in the range from 0 to 4, so we're going to round down, because when you hit the 4, you go down to the floor. So we have 2.4. So when we round down, we don't actually round to the place value below. We keep the number the same. And that's all there is to it. Let's go on to our examples. So pause the video and let's see if we can get all these right. Hopefully we were able to get all those answers. Let's start on the left-hand side. So it says round to the nearest 10th. So let's circle our 10th position. Okay, and we'll underline the digit to the right. And those will be the numbers we'll be looking at. So we look on the first one and it's a 5. So we look at our hint. Hit the floor, climb the vine. Okay, so 0 to 4, hit the floor. 5 to 9, climb the vine. 5 is on the range of 5 to 9, So we're going to climb the vine. So our answer is going to be 4.1 because 1 more than 0 is 1. Now look at the one below. Okay, we're dealing with 9. 0 to 4, hit the floor. 5 to 9, climb the vine. We're climbing the vine again. Alright, new answer would be 3.9 because 1 more than 8 is 9. Now we have our next examples on the right, round to the nearest hundredth. So we're dealing with a different place value. Our hundredths are right here, so the 7 and the 4. Underline the digit to the right. And so we look at our 3 and we say 0 to 4, hit the 4. 5 to 9, climb the vine. 3 is in the 0 to 4 range, so we're hitting the floor. So we're going to keep it all the same. So our answer is going to be 7.87. Okay, and now we look at the one below. It's a 6. 0 to 4, hit the floor. 5 to 9, climb the vine. 6 is in the 5 to 9, so we're climbing that vine. And our answer is 9.25 because 1 more than 4 is 5. Hopefully we got all those right, and that's the last concept, so let's go into our overview. Okay, so as we can see, this is just a short summary of what we've learned today. We were able to recognize the places in our place value chart on the left right here, and we were able to recognize how they interact with each other and where they're positioned. We were also able to recognize on the right here that there are patterns when dealing with powers of tens. We learned that when dealing with multiplying or dividing decimals by moving the decimal point or by adding or counting the zeros. And then for our last concept, which we just went over, we were able to use a place value system to round decimal places to any place. So we learned 0 to 4, hit the floor, 5 to 9, climb the vine. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Please like and comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you guys.